If there's someone who is Black in our church, and they've been in our church and we know them and they love the Lord Jesus Christ, great. We're not talking about that person, but we're talking about when you go into a crowd of people. If you go into a crowd of strangers and they're white strangers, there's some danger. If they're Black strangers, there is 30 times more danger.
I'm Dr. Michael H. Ford, and let's talk about what you just saw. A white pastor claimed that if you walk into a crowd of strangers, Black people are 30 times more dangerous than white people. That's a very specific number, and claims that precise should always be checked against real data. So let's slow this down and look at what the evidence actually shows. The most reliable national source for understanding violent crime risk in the United States is the Bureau of Justice Statistics National Crime Victimization Survey, or NCVS. This survey collects data directly from households across the country, including crimes that are never reported to police. According to BJS data from 2017 to 2021, the overall violent victimization rate was about 19.8 incidents per 1,000 white persons and 19.4 incidents per 1,000 Black persons. Those rates are nearly identical, and there is no 30-to-1 difference. Federal arrest data also does not support this claim. The FBI's Crime in the U.S. report shows that while arrest totals vary by offense, white individuals account for the majority of total arrests nationwide, in large part because they make up a larger share of the population. None of the FBI tables show anything close to a 30 times gap between races. Another important point comes from BJ's research on victim and offender race. Most violent crime in the United States is intraracial. What does that mean? Well, that means that white victims are most often harmed by white offenders, and Black victims are most often harmed by Black offenders. Interracial stranger violence is comparatively uncommon. So when someone says Black strangers are 30 times more dangerous, that statement is not grounded in federal crime data, victimization surveys, or arrest statistics. It is not a reflection of evidence, it's a reflection of fear framed as fact. And when fear is repeated enough, it starts to sound like truth. Healing starts with knowing. Follow for more.
Words, they use bullets.
This is the man who shot Charlie Kirk. This is the man who shot Trump. This is the man who killed Melissa Hortman. This is the man who tried to kill John Hoffman. This is the man who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. This is the man who killed an Obama-appointed judge's son. This is the man who hired hitmen to kill Democrats. This is the man who ran over a left-wing activist and killed her. This is the man responsible for the Austin bombing. This is the man who sent pipe bombs to Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton. This is the man who shot Gabby Gifford. This is the man who tried to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, and this man, and this man, and this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, and this man. This is the man who set Josh Shapiro's house on fire. This is the Oklahoma bomber. This is his accomplice. These are just a few of the men who beat police officers on January 6th. I can think of a few things they have in common, and it's not the way they use their words or their left-wing politics.
Using incarceration rates of Black people to try to prove that Black people are more dangerous than white people is funny. Not funny haha, but funny like you really can't piece together hundreds of years of history that suggest that Black people have always been at an institutional disadvantage. Really? Policing originated from slave patrols. Black people started being mass incarcerated immediately after emancipation. How in the world does that suggest that Black people are biologically more dangerous than white people? A lot of you guys don't even know that race is not biological. So I don't know why you feel like you're qualified to definitively say that Black people are more dangerous than white people. Biologically. No, that's not gonna do.
The most dangerous person in this country is a female white liberal. That's not being racial.
No, that's the truth.
That's just based on policies that they support, the language they use, and how they actually look at Black people. I would argue it is the female white liberals who were behind DEI.
Oh yeah, no, dude, they're at the forefront. Every single progressive movement that gets pushed is always led by them. It's always led by them. They're at the forefront. Then you got, the other minority groups, whatever. But yeah, man, because all this liberalism that we're experiencing now was spearheaded Through feminism. Feminism started all this in the 1960s because what ended up happening was feminism was the Trojan horse from which the alphabet communities, reparations, liberalism, progressivism, all the, liberal elements that we're dealing with today.
It's gone too far when even people don't like what's happening.
Yeah.
And they've come out in large numbers and said this is
stop messing with kids and stuff like he's reading. So like all of these, toxic liberal ideologies came through the Trojan horse of feminism.
The same thing you people keep thinking, you people keep saying. And right now you can see that your own fellow white folks are raged against what not only you said as a pastor. Let's even forget about the pastor. But for any white man to think, to sit down, reason that black people are more dangerous is because you don't understand history. If you don't understand history, you will literally never in your life, if you even see what is happening currently, and then you compare and contrast, you will know that you people are the one full of every single thing that some of these white folks are literally saying. But anyways, I don't want to argue too much because we're going to go into deep research. Let's understand. And I'm happy that we have some other white folks as well that are able to testify and say, stop lying. Stop lying. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And with that being said, let's dive right into the remaining part of this video. I'll be back with commentaries.
People need to stop bringing black people into quite literally any conversation about race. I made a video talking about how I feel unsafe around white men, and the first comment is, well, what about black men? Number one, I was not talking about black men in this video whatsoever. What is your fucking obsession talking about black men specifically? And the person who commented this is white. It is a constant and chronic obsession with what black men are doing 24/7. And number two, when I'm talking about my experiences with white men, my negative experiences, please stop bringing up other races. Because yes, while other races can commit crimes or do other things, my own personal experiences have been white men who have assaulted me or have made me feel unsafe time and time again. Are there exceptions to this? Yes, but 90% of my negative interactions have been this. Also, commenting this feels like it is still rooted in the implicit assumption that black people commit more crimes, or bringing up black people is trying to promote some sort of racist narrative. Again, stop bringing black people into every single conversation. If we're going to talk about race, then we need to talk about the problem of white supremacy, which is what my page does. Go bother somebody else, and please stop trying this bullshit on my page because I'm going to continue to block you. I'm here to call out other white people. So if you want to be racist, go do that somewhere else.
Black people are the most violent, the most dangerous, the most criminal demographic in the United States is a lie I've heard throughout my 46 years on this spinning mud ball. It is absolutely not true because, for one, it's based on incomplete numbers, incomplete statistics. The numbers that these racists like to point to are 13 and 52 or something around there, saying that 13% of the population is black, but they commit 52% of the murders. The people who like to share those numbers as fact, as undeniable facts, forget so many others that are wrapped up in that number. Specifically, that those are conviction rates, that those are conviction numbers. That doesn't mean they're actually guilty of that crime, because there are several people who have been arrested and given a plea deal so that instead of going to trial, they just take jail time. It also ignores the fact that black people are 7.5 times more likely to be innocent of any crime and still sent to jail. For example, Khalif Broder was arrested for stealing a backpack, and while he was awaiting trial, they sent him to Rikers Island Prison, where he spent much of his time in solitary confinement. He was there for over a year, and he never stole the backpack. He was just accused of stealing a backpack. There were much better ways to have handled that, but the police didn't care. Due to his treatment in prison, but he was treated in prison, and the torture, the psychological torture that he went through, after he got out, he died by suicide. Also, some like 60% or more of all crimes go unresolved, meaning we don't know who did them. We don't know what that person looked like, what race they were, how much money they made, or anything about their demographic. Male, female, nothing. So saying that black people are more violent, more dangerous, more criminal than any other demographic is just a bald-faced lie, because over half of the crimes in the US aren't even solved. Also, which crimes are more likely to see a conviction? Ones that are in an area where there is a high police presence, or areas where there is a low police presence? Police are more often in urban areas, and urban areas tend to have more minorities, meaning more black people, and police are known, and it has been proven, that they over-patrol minority neighborhoods, meaning if there's more police there, they're more likely to catch people who have done something wrong. Meanwhile, rural areas, which tend to be my sunny complexion, have a much lower police presence, a much lower conviction rate, but yet white people commit more crimes by number, commit more crime in the United States than all of the demographics put together. And I should say they're convicted of more crimes than any other demographic put together, because, once again, no one has the numbers of who commits more crime. Because if we knew who committed more crime, this would be an entirely different conversation. No one has any data on how many crimes are committed by who. So those of you who keep saying that black people are more violent, you are lying through your teeth. And if you are black and you are saying that, why do you hate your own self so much? Have a good night.
It genuinely gives zero about your guys' feelings, and I will come on here and say all the uncomfortable truths that everybody knows is true, but absolutely nobody will talk about. Black people are the most racist individuals that there is in 2025. As a white person, I certainly can't go to a black community and feel safe. But when they come to white communities, it's like they're in Disneyland. I used to be an addict, so every time I'd go down to Newark, I would have to make sure I was strapped. I don't think they have to feel the same way about going out in a white community. Matter of fact, they can come here and say whatever they want. They can call me white boy this, white boy that, white whatever the and I'm just simply not going to comply with the double standard. I genuinely do not care one bit about your guys' feelings, and I'll tell you the truth. And the truth is, in 2025, white kids are being raised to be accepting individuals, and it's not the other way around. And everybody knows that.
I don't know if you saw that video of the mayor of Chicago referring to Trump as small, but the things he said right before that comment really resonated with me. He basically said that Trump is pointedly intimidated by intelligent black men. It made me think of when I was in the studio about a week or so ago with an artist a little bit younger than me. They're probably going to see this, right? It was my first time meeting them, and it was just immediately evident to me how fucking smart they were. Like, it was just radiating off of them. And I'm not talking about how educated they are, right? Because there's a difference. You can be given all the tools, but if you can't connect dots, you know, it's just different, right? This person is just really, really smart. They were asking me, how can I get on TikTok? I was like, you should leverage your intelligence, talk about the things that matter to you, and make that the focal point of what you do. And they were basically like, yeah, I feel like I downplay my intelligence a lot. Like, I upplayed the whole ditzy thing or whatever. And I was just thinking about how normalized that is. Like, especially for black men, not ditzy maybe necessarily, but the idea of like downplaying our intelligence. And I really do feel like the most radical thing you can do as a black man is be fiercely and unapologetically intellectual. Like, because it really does intimidate people. Like, it's just on unapologetic, right? Like, however you speak, however you exist, show up in that way and bring your intellect with you. And don't apologize for it. Don't amend it whatsoever. Because no matter what direction you go in, there's going to be someone trying to curtail aspects of who you are, to snip and prune at you and your personality. It's like if love and hate aren't truly opposites, but rather love and apathy are opposites, then respectability politics and what I'm describing are kind of like love and hate. Like, there are some similarities between the ways that the Black Panthers rolled around and the ways that these like talented 10th bourgeoisie black old money circles roll around, right? There's some similarity in terms of the pride that they carry themselves with. The only difference being that, like, you know, when you yank on the leash of these people in these bougie circles, it's connected to some white master who is determining what the lion does, right? So it's a defanged lion, as opposed to showing up in a room as just a lion that is self-determining and autonomous. And like, yeah, that's intimidating. I hope you're intimidated by it. And I think the thing is, like, because we're always perceived as like threats, there's a literal danger in showing up in a space and being intimidating. Like, that can be literally threatening to your life. I think most Black men at some point have an experience that affirms that very pointedly. But in that way, I think it's radical in some ways, within reason and within the bounds of your own safety, to lean into that and be like, yeah, be intimidated. I'm him. And that's why I love learning about the Haitian Revolution, because like white supremacy constructs all of these narratives about us being physically superhuman, which justifies seeing us as a threat or using us as a resource for unpaid slave labor. White supremacy chooses to weave that into the cultural narrative. So when you show up in spaces where that's already floating in the air, where it's already kind of baked into the cultural zeitgeist, and then you choose to show up unapologetically intelligent, it intimidates the hell out of people. You might as well be a superhero. And I think that's fucking dope.
A white person can take a picture holding a gun, a shotgun, or a pistol or anything, and nobody says anything. Everybody thinks it's funny, it's cool, it's brave, it's patriotic. But if a black person takes a picture holding a gun, he's seen as a thug and a criminal, and everybody's afraid. It's only wrong when black people do it. A white woman can wear dreads, cornrows, or any other ethnic hairstyle, and it's seen as cool, beautiful, unique. But if a black woman were to wear that same hairstyle that she originated, it would be seen as ghetto, unprofessional, or inappropriate. It's only wrong when black people do it. A white person can imitate black mannerisms, from the way we talk, hand gestures, head movement, all of that, and everybody thinks it's cool. Everybody thinks it's okay. But if a black person were to be themselves, we get condemned for it. It's only wrong when black people do it. A white man can be confident. He can be aggressive in business. He can be, a go-getter. He can have drive. And everybody thinks that's cool. It's sexy. Everybody wants to be like him. But if a black man has the same amount of confidence, has the same amount of aggression, and the same amount of drive, and the same amount of hunger that the white man has, everybody seems uneasy. People look at him like he's dangerous, like there's something wrong. It's only wrong with black. A white person, when it comes to the police, they can cuss out the police, spit on the police, fight the police, shoot at the police, and nothing happens to them. They get taken in. But if a black person were to move too fast, he dies. It's only wrong when black people do it.
To tell you how biased and corrupt even some of these chats are meant to be, first, I hope you enjoyed all of that clip I've been able to roll up for you guys. Before I say anything I want to say further, let me tell you how biased, corrupt, and how they have literally twisted most of these AI tools just because they want to paint black people a certain way, or they just want to just avoid some certain conversation. They just want to avoid some certain thing. If by dangerous you mean crime or violence, statistics do not show that one race is inherently more dangerous than other. Race by itself is not considered a cause of criminal behavior by criminologists. Crime rates are influenced by many factors, which include poverty, which include neighborhood, which include condition, which include education, which include employment opportunities, which include exposure to violence, which include policing practices, and social inequality. That I know, right? In the United States, the FBI data shows that some violent crime arrest rates are higher among Black Americans relative to their share of their population. That is because they have given their white self privilege and made it look like Black people are the most troublesome. They are the most people that are always causing havoc. Why? Even if a white and a Black person are doing same thing the same time, there is every possibility that that Black person is going to be arrested and the white person will not. So these are some of the statistics they are seeing that is making a lot of them to say Black people are the most dangerous. Black people are the most this. Black people are the most people that commit the crimes. Black people are the most people that pew-pewed people. Black people are the most people that violated. But go into analysis and check. You'll find out that most of the time, right from the days of John the Baptist, where the kingdom of gore, the suffering, and the violence taken by force, this was literally coming from the white folks' end. Right? To their shared population, white American accounts for a larger number of total arrests because they are much larger share of the population. However, these two numbers alone do not explain why the difference exists. Research points to the factor that concentrated poverty, segregation, historical discrimination, and difference in policing and arresting. And it added, where he literally said, another important fact is that most violent crime occurs within the same racial group, not between racial group. White victims are usually harmed by white offenders, and black victims are usually harmed by black offenders, largely because people tend to live, work, socialize with people in their own community. For most evidence-based, an answer is no race is born more violent or dangerous than others. Crime statistics can differ between groups, but these differences are strongly connected to social and economic conditions rather than biology or race itself. Judging individuals by race is not supported by crime research. Most people of every racial group are not criminals. So, in conclusion, in every single thing that we are trying to boil down to right now is, if you are a white folks and you're watching, please do not think for a second that black people commit more of the crime. You people are the one. You people are the one that will literally cause havoc. You people are the one that when a black person don't even want to say anything, he just wants to go his way, just want to mind his or her business, you will literally just want to create something, create chaos that will make that black person say something. So it's as simple as that. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in this episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you. Liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be seeing you, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.